Morning, Chloe. Wednesday, so we slow down. Three stories, and everyone is the same store fighting the same calendar. Fall showed up, and the shelf is already at war with itself.
Give me the three.
Pumpkin's getting fired. Functional soda's growing up and dropping half its promises. And cottage cheese, of all things, is carrying the whole protein aisle.
Those don't sound related.
Same shopper, deciding who's worth her attention this season. One flavor, one claim, one recipe at a time.
And she's tired.
She's tired and she's suspicious. Every label this fall is yelling the same three things at her. The brands that win the season are the ones that say less and prove more.
Then start with the one getting fired. So Kendall pulled the fall beverage numbers. Makers are building the season around apple, maple, spiced pear, pecan, speculoos, toasted marshmallow. Sonic launched a whole fall lineup with zero pumpkin in it.
15 years I've watched Pumpkin own September, and it finally got boring. Everybody has it now, so the word stopped meaning anything. When the whole shelf says the same thing, the word disappears.
Sonic cut it completely? That's the safe chain.
That's the tell. When the safest player in the lot walks away from the sure thing is over. And that leaves a door open for a small brand. Because the giant can only chase the flavor that scales to every store in the country.
What does the small brand do with that door?
Takeaway 1. Own a flavor a national chain will never touch. Not pumpkin, the pear that only grows in your county, the maple from the sugar house 20 minutes up the road. Pick the one regional note a factory can't ship nationwide and build your whole fall around it.
And where does that live as content, not just a product?
You go shoot it where it grows. This is takeaway 2. Don't photograph the finished cup on a white table like everyone else. Take the camera to the orchard, the sugar house, the actual tree. One morning of filming gives you a month of posts nobody can copy because they'd have to stand where you stood.
So the location is the moat.
The location is the moat. A national brand can fake a cozy studio. It can't fake the guy who's been tapping those maples for 30 years, on camera, saying your name. That footage is unrepeatable. And unrepeatable is the only thing worth shooting.
What if I don't have an orchard, though? What if I'm just buying the syrup?
Then go film the person you buy it from. You don't need to own the tree. You need to name the human at the other end of your supply chain and put them on camera. The relationship is the content, and most brands hide it instead of shooting it.
I like that the small guy has the advantage here for once.
He always did on this one. A regional flavor is a weakness at national scale and a superpower at local scale. The giant is stuck selling the same cup in Maine and Arizona. You get to sell the thing that only makes sense in your zip code. And specificity is what people screenshot and send to a friend.
Okay, say I've got the flavor and the footage. How do I make people show up for it?
Takeaway 3. Treat the flavor like a seasonal drop, not a permanent SKU. Announce a date. Say it's here for 6 weeks and then it's gone. Let the region know it's theirs first. Scarcity plus a specific place turns a beverage into an event people mark on a calendar.
So I'm not selling a cup. I'm running a season.
You're running a season with a countdown, and the neighborhood does the reminding for you. Pumpkin's a commodity because it's everywhere and always. Your flavor is the opposite. Somewhere specific and not for long.
And when the 6 weeks end?
You leave, on purpose. The gap is what makes them wait for next year. A flavor that's always there is wallpaper. A flavor with a season is a story people tell each other while they wait.
Number 2, and Kendall flagged this off the Newtopia floor in Denver. Functional soda's second wave. Olipop's carrying 6 to 9 grams of fiber a can. Poppy 3, Coke's Simply Pop launched at 6. Then there's a mushroom soda with 10 grams of fiber, and one formulated just for sleep.
And notice what changed. The first wave sold you a can that did 9 things. Gut, immunity, energy, mood, focus, the whole pharmacy on one label. This wave picks one thing and says only that.
Why would a brand give up 8 benefits on purpose?
Because the shopper stopped believing the 9. When a can promises to fix your gut and your sleep and your brain, she reads it as marketing, not medicine. 1 claim she can believe, 9 claims she tunes out. The suspicion is arriving faster than these brands can reformulate.
So the discipline on the label is the story.
The discipline on the label is the story. And here's takeaway 1. Pick one outcome and build one content pillar on it. If you're the sleep soda, your whole feed is about sleep. Not wellness, not vibes, not 9 hashtags. One promise, said the same way over and over until you own the word.
Just one? Most brands want to say everything they do.
Saying everything is how you get remembered for nothing. The brands that win a category win one word first. You don't get the second word until you've owned the first. Everybody wants to skip that step, and skipping it's why their feed reads like a supplement catalog.
How long before owning one word actually pays off? Founders get impatient.
Longer than they want, and that's the whole point. If you can say your one word for 6 months straight while everyone else rotates through 9, you'll be the only brand that still means something by spring. Impatience is why the category is a blur. The reward goes to whoever can stand to be repetitive.
Okay, so I've picked my one thing. How do I make people believe it?
Takeaway 2. Show the proof, don't state the benefit. Anybody can type 10 grams of fiber on a can. Put the mechanism on camera. Where the fiber comes from, what it's doing, why yours is different from the sugar water next to it. A demonstrated claim beats a printed one every time, and the printed ones are about to get tested the way the oil aisle just did.
So the front panel and the feed say the exact same thing.
Same discipline in both places. If the label makes one promise and the feed makes 9, the shopper feels the gap even if she can't name it. The tightest brands sound identical on the can and in the comments, and that consistency is what reads as trustworthy.
And what about the people already drinking it?
Takeaway 3. Let your customers report the one result, not a vibe. Ask them the specific question. Did you sleep? Did it settle your stomach? Collect the plain answers and post those. One real person naming one real outcome outsells any claim you could write about yourself.
So the community becomes the clinical trial nobody paid for.
The community is the proof the lab can't sell you. A giant buys a study. You've got 200 people saying the same specific true thing in their own words. In this category, that's the asset that actually moves someone off the brand they already trust.
Last one, and Jamie sent it over. Cottage cheese. The protein category grew almost 60% in 3 years. A new brand launched with a third more protein than the leader. Somebody's bringing whipped cottage cheese dips to New York, and there's a ready-to-drink protein coffee with 22 grams in it now.
Cottage cheese! The thing that sat in the back of the fridge my whole childhood is now the engine of the protein aisle.
How did the sad diet food become the main character?
TikTok. Not a brand, not an ad budget. Home cooks started blending it into pasta sauce, whipping it into dip, baking it into bread, and filming it. The category didn't get marketed up. It got taught up by regular people in their kitchen.
So the brands are riding a wave they didn't start.
Every one of them, and most are riding it wrong. And there's a study that makes this sharper. Researchers just found teenagers are especially swayed by food content on TikTok. So who's doing the teaching isn't a small question, it's the whole question.
Which gives me takeaway 1, I'm guessing.
Takeaway 1. Put recipe creators in front, not your brand account. This wave was built by people cooking, so your growth comes from people cooking, not from a polished product post. Get your tub into the hands of the cooks already teaching this, and let them show the 15 ways to use it.
So the brand steps back and the cook steps up.
The brand steps all the way back. Nobody saves a recipe from a corporate account. They save it from a person they trust to feed them. Your job is to be the ingredient in that person's video, not the star of your own.
So I hand my product to strangers and hope they make me look good.
Not hope. You pick well. Then you put their video to work. When a cook's recipe lands, that clip becomes your ad, your website header, the thing you boost with a little money behind it. You don't just repost it and move on. One creator video, used 10 places, beats 10 brand posts nobody asked for.
But if teenagers are that easy to sway, doesn't picking the wrong creator burn me?
That's takeaway 2, and it's the one brand skip. Pick the teacher, not the follower count. A real cook with 40,000 people who actually make her food beats a 1 million follower influencer reading a script. The study says the audience is impressionable, which means the responsibility is yours. Choose someone who'd eat it without the check.
And half the category is just buying the biggest name they can afford.
And getting one flat video for the money. Reach without trust is a billboard nobody looks at twice. 40,000 people who cook from her every week will buy the tub. The 1 million who scroll past a paid post won't.
Last piece. What do I actually have them make?
Takeaway 3. Own a use, not a hero shot. Don't shoot the pretty tub on a counter. Own one job. The high-protein pasta sauce. The dip that isn't sour cream. Plant your flag on a specific use people can copy tonight and become the brand that owns that one recipe in their head.
So I win a use case, not a beauty contest.
You win the thing they cook on a Tuesday. Nobody remembers a product photo. Everybody remembers the sauce that got their kid to eat protein. Own the recipe, and you own the reason they keep the tub in the cart. That's the food and beverage trend report for this week. One thread under all three. The flavor, the claim, the recipe, none of them sell from a pretty hero shot on a white table. They sell from real footage of a real place, a real proof, a real person cooking. If you've got a genuinely good product and a feed full of stock photos that isn't moving anyone, that's the gap I fill. I make the content, the short-form video and the photography for food and beverage brands, and I've been doing it for over 15 years. Find me at gallucci.net or DM at galluccinet on Instagram or LinkedIn. Chloe, go find your maple guy.
Already driving.